All right, hello and welcome to our Admitted Student Webinar series. Tonight you're going to be hearing from our University Student Housing team. I'm going to give just a few minutes for everybody to join us. As a reminder, this is being recorded and it is a webinar, so we cannot see or hear you. This will be a direct communication from us to you, and we will get started here in just 1 minute. Welcome to our Admitted Student Webinar series. We are excited to have the University Student Housing team here tonight. A few housekeeping reminders. This is being recorded. It will be put on our website. That is the orientation website, and we will be hosting it there. Any questions you have will be used in the Q&A function at the bottom, and we are going to be answering those. We have a team from University Student Housing that's going to be helping answer those throughout the evening. This will be approximately 30 minutes in length. And we want to make sure that we get all your questions answered as you learn more about that housing move-in process and what to expect. And so with that being said, I'd like to introduce Emma Peach from University Student Housing. She is going to be talking to you about the steps that you need to take to get ready to move in to Texas Tech University. So without any further ado, Emma, please take it away.
Thank you, Zach. Hi, everybody. Like Zach was saying, my name is Emma Peach. I am the section coordinator at the Welcome Center with University Student Housing. I'm very excited to go over some key information with you guys that will be upon us before we know it. I can't believe it's already time to be talking about move-in, but it is. So we'll go ahead and jump in. And I've got Natalie Mendoza, our section supervisor, and then Annie Jackson, who's a temporary worker with us for the summer. They'll be going over the Q&A, answering your questions as we move along. So please put those in the Q&A if you've got them. So most important thing, hopefully you guys have already selected your housing and everything like that, since you're so on top of it. Most important thing that will be coming up is going to be your Tech-In Timeslot selection. So essentially at the end of June, you will be able to select your move-in time slot for August. So it's a date to pick a date is what we'll be talking about here. As you can see on the screen, it's divided up into a couple different days. But on one of these days, depending on when you signed up for housing, you will have the opportunity to pick your time slot for a move-in. So on June 27th is when the bulk of our students will be able to select a time slot. And then for those who participated in the Red Raider Express program, so that means that you did your housing contract and you paid your deposits sometime in August or early November. You'll be able to select your time slot on June 25th. And essentially what you'll do is it's going to be really important for you to watch and keep an eye on your TTU email the last week of this month, because the day before your date to pick a time slot, you will be getting an email with further information and instructions to pick your time slot. So essentially what a time slot is going to be an hour for you where you'll have a specified parking spot right outside of your hall. You will be able to go park there with your moving truck, car, whatever you're bringing, and you will be able to unload from there. That way you're not trekking your things from a parking lot all the way to your building. The in-hall staff will know that you're coming at that specified time, so they'll have your keys ready. They'll be prepared to check you in. So it's really important that you select a time slot so that our staff knows to expect you. So that will be at the end of this month, and you'll be able to select that date. As you can see here, it's going to be June 25th and June 27th, like I said. Students who completed Red Raider Express Pass in October and November, keep an eye on your email on June 24th. You'll be able to see when to log in. So it's going to be broken down by hall. So if, for example, if you were in Chitwood Hall, you will get an email on June 24th or June 26th saying, hey, noon or 1 o'clock. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that'll be your time to log in and pick your time slot tomorrow. It'll show you a guide of where to go, what to click on, what you should be looking for, and then you'll be able to follow it from there. So we try to make it a really easy self-guiding process. And then we'll be able to obviously help you guys from our office if you run into any issues. Some things to bring when it comes to move in. This is kind of a truncated list of what we have on our website. So definitely check that out. There's lots of great to-dos and not to-dos. Most important things that we want everybody to be aware of is that you do need to have your state issued ID or driver's license when you check in. If you don't have either of those things, you can bring a passport or an alternate form of identification. But that is how we are going to know who you are and be able to check you in. So that being said, parents, your student does have to be present for move-in. So even though you have that time slot and the hall knows that you're coming and intending to move in your student, they do have to be present with their ID to check in and to get their key. We do not provide bed linen, so we always want to make sure students are aware of that. You will need to purchase sheets, pillows, mattress toppers, whatever is going to help you be comfortable. And then also bathroom linens and things like that are not provided in our halls, so that'll be something you'll need to purchase as well. When it comes to prescribed medications, that's a good reminder. If your student has any prescribed medications that they take daily, please don't forget those at home. And then if you guys have been to Lubbock, or if you're not familiar with Lubbock at all, we have it all the seasons in a week's time. So please be packing for cool and warmer weather. And then when it comes to appliances, your student is able to have a refrigerator, a 3.5 cubic feet or less refrigerator, and a microwave in their room. All small appliances do have to meet certain voltage requirements, size requirements. That's all set by the fire marshal to keep our students safe in our residence halls. So please check out the lists before you purchase anything, just to make sure that we're bringing things that are approved into our halls. When it comes to things like refrigerators and microwaves, it is going to be one per room. So if your student is in a traditional style hall where they're sharing a room, then it is going to be one per room. So coordinating with future roommates is going to be an important step there. Students are able to see who their roommate is as soon as they have their room. So you can go back to that application where you got your room in the first place, and it'll show you contact information, name, about your roommate. So now's a good time to start reaching out to them and coordinating things. A lot of students will say, hey, I'll bring the mini fridge if you bring the microwave. Or there are also places like Collegiate Concepts that rent out those items, and students can then maybe split the cost of renting those things with their roommate instead of lugging it all the way from Houston or wherever you're from. Same thing goes for televisions, just to save space. It's usually better for students to coordinate with their roommates. They are allowed to have TVs, but just ask that they don't bring any big subwoofers or any crazy sound systems, just to keep our residence halls a nice peaceful place for learning. But again, just kind of coordinating with the roommates on those things to make sure that we don't have too many appliances in our residence halls. Now, when it comes to what not to bring, that list is a little bit longer than the what to bring list, but most of it is going to be common sense. We do not have any alcohol in our residence halls, things that can potentially cause a fire, like toasters or halogen lamps. Like I said, with the small appliances, you can have a microwave and a mini fridge. You can also have a small crock pot and a Keurig coffee maker. But for the most part, small appliances are going to be prohibited, just to keep everyone's safe again. So please check the list before you purchase. I know Instant Pots and air fryers are really popular nowadays, but unfortunately we are not allowed to have them in our buildings. When it comes to pets, we do not allow pets on campus. We can have emotional support animals, service animals. So as long as they are fully legitimate, registered with doctors and appropriate channels, what you will do in that circumstance is go to Student Disability Services. You will register the animal there, and then you will also register them with our office. It's really important that you do that, because then we can make sure that your roommate's not going to be allergic to your animal, and that it's a cohesive environment for everybody. Other than that, you can have a 5-gallon tank with a fish in it without registering it with anyone. So if you want to give pet ownership a try, start with a goldfish. Unfortunately, you can't have any kind of like snakes or bugs or anything like that in a terrarium. It does have to be a fish. Then, like I said, the rest is pretty common sense things. Obviously, we want to keep weapons, guns, things that can potentially cause danger out of our residence halls. When it comes to electronics, like I said, try to keep away from large speakers. And when it comes to things like that, make sure that they meet the voltage requirements that we have on our website. And then that last thing on the list, a lot of students ask if they need to bring a wireless router for Wi-Fi, or if they can because they think it'll make them have even faster speeds, but there's no need to bring any wireless routers or anything like that. We have Wi-Fi across campus that all students are able to access with their e-Raider credentials. So gist of this that I hope everyone takes away is that we have really awesome lists on our website. If you're unsure of what to bring, or if you can bring something, please check them out. It's under the Move In and Move Out tab on our website. And then we also have a really awesome staff of student ambassadors who are working at the Welcome Center 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And that is our phone number and email. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. Again, when it comes to move-in time slots, you'll get an email the day before your day to pick a day. So you'll have more information sent directly to your inbox with a step-by-step guide on how to pick your move-in time slot. That way, we know that you're coming and we're ready for you whenever August comes rolling around. I don't know if I mentioned this previously, but move-in is going to be August 15th through the 18th this year. So for those of you who might be bringing cars, or if you're purchasing airplane tickets, please wait until you have that time slot secured to purchase airline tickets, because then you know for sure that, hey, I'm moving in at 2 p.m. on August 18th, and that is when they are expecting me. So if you run into any issues with this process, please give us a call or email us, and we'd be happy to assist you.
And Emma, if I can, if you'll stay on for just a sec, I'm going to ask a few questions that were asked in the Q&A, and I thought it'd be really valuable for everybody to hear your response. So a question came up about rush for students going through fraternity or sorority recruitment. Is there an earlier move-in date for those students? And if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, good question. So we are accommodating earlier move-in for rush students this year. We're really excited to be able to offer that this year. So essentially what you guys need to do is make sure that you're registered with either IFC or Panhellenic. As long as you're registered for Rush, they will be providing us a list of everybody who is going to be rushing, and we will be able to give you an earlier time slot selection. Now, if you are already registered, that is fantastic, because the day to pick an early move-in for Rush is actually coming up on Thursday, June 20th. So if you are rushing, be keeping an eye out on your email tomorrow, because that is when you will get an email with instructions, and you'll be able to go in on the 20th and pick your time slot.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. Another question came up about bringing multiple vehicles to campus for move-in. How does that work with the parking space up front? What does that process look like for students in that situation?
Yeah, so with your time slot, like I said, you'll have a parking space right outside the building with your name on it. They'll have that set aside for you. Now it's up to you guys if you want to bring, a personal vehicle and a U-Haul, or have a caravan of people helping you move. That's totally fine, but you will only have that one parking space that's right up front. So some students will kind of coordinate, like unload one vehicle and then move it to the parking lot and then unload the next one. That parking space is yours to do with what you will. But just kind of keep in mind that you will have that time constraint. If you are not able to move everything in that time and you need to continue unloading the truck, you can do that. You'll just need to move it to the parking lot where you're directed, and then you can move things to your building from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. Another question that came up was students are excited about their roommate and they're having challenges connecting with their roommates. What are your suggestions on that? And where can they find who their roommate is if they haven't seen that already?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it already, whenever you picked your room, if there was already someone in that other bed space, it should have given you a name and a TTU email on the confirmation screen at the end. If you did not see that name or email, that might mean that there was no one else in your room when you selected. But at this point, we are getting to the point where we've got students filling in, so you can go back to that application. just click save and continue until you hit that final confirmation screen, and you'll be able to be connected with them. You can email them directly to their TTU email, or we have an option in the application itself to message your roommates. So it'll show you their name and their email, and there will be a little button that'll say contact my roommate, and you can message them there. If you do that, it will trigger an email to their TTU email, so they'll get kind of a secondary notification that, hey, your roommate's trying to reach out to you, and you can connect there. That is the only kind of connection that we can give you guys, unfortunately, due to FERPA laws, keeping you guys, your private information private. So we can only provide their TTU email and the opportunity to message in the application. We do find that a lot of students aren't necessarily checking their TTU emails until maybe they get here for orientation and they're reminded that it's a thing that they should be checking their TTU email. So we do hear some students say, hey, you know, I really want to connect with my roommate, and they're just not responding. I always just say, hey, just keep trying, or just give it a couple weeks. They might just not be checking their email. Other students, if your roommate has a unique enough name, have been able to find them on like Instagram or Facebook and connect that way. But that TTU email is the only way that we can get you to reach out.
Great. Another question came up about the Going Band from Raiderland, which is an awesome group here on campus. Any thoughts on their being able to move in and that process?
Yeah, so their process will be pretty much exactly like Rush. We will be able to get you guys moved in early. So you'll have the opportunity to move in on August 10th as well, and you'll be able to select that date on August 20th. So watch out in your emails tomorrow. August 10th will be your move-in date, and you'll get to pick that specific time on Thursday this week.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. Another question came up about a few things in working on campus. So obviously university student housing has a lot of positions, kind of what that process looks like and what student would need to do if they were hired to work for university student housing.
Yes, I love that question. So I am the hiring manager for our specific office. We have a requisition or an application open right now online. We will be hiring a few people at the beginning of the fall semester, and then kind of monitoring that throughout the school year as well. So you can go online and you can just Google TTUHR, or I believe it's jobs at Texas Tech, something like that. And you can go on there and it'll show all of the student assistant positions that are open. Hospitality is really awesome. They hire all year round, and they have a lot of facilities that need a lot of hands. So hospitality is a great one to work for. The library has student assistant positions. And it's really awesome because we work with your class schedule. So definitely throw your hat in the ring. You can apply to any of those positions as long as you're an admitted student. So yeah.
Yeah, and so Emma, also a number of folks have already come to orientation. Some folks haven't. And just know your Texas Tech University ID, which is what you'll use to access your residence hall, as well as your meal plan, the rec center, athletic events, and so many more things. You will get that at Red Raider orientation. But for folks who haven't come to orientation yet, can you talk a little bit about the tours that are available to see facilities during Red Raider orientation, so they can see kind of what the residence halls will look like?
Yeah, so if you're coming for a 2-day orientation session, on day 2, we are doing residence hall tours. And now we do have some students who are living on campus for the summer. We do have some halls that are being utilized for cheer camps, soccer camps, things like that. So we are not able to show all of our residence halls this summer, just to make sure the students who are on campus have their privacy. But we are showing Talkington Hall, which is a suite style residence hall. So if you're in Murray or Talkington, definitely go check that out while you're at orientation. And then we are also showing Sneed Hall, which is going to be one of our traditional movable furniture styles. So if you're in Bledsoe, Sneed, Horn, Knapp, any of those, that's going to be what Sneed looks like. And then you also have the opportunity during those 2-day sessions to stay on campus for the night, to spend the night and kind of get a feel for what it's like. If you do that, you're going to be staying in Hewlin Hall, which is going to be our traditional fixed furniture, so that other style of traditional hall. So that would be your opportunity to go and see what that looks like. So if you're in Sherwood, Weymouth, the whole long list of what our traditional fixed furniture looks like, that would be a great opportunity for you to be able to spend the night and see what it's like beforehand.
Yeah, and that's right. You do get to stay a night in Hugh and Clement Residence Hall during your Red Raider orientation. So a good way to kind of get a feel for what life is going to be like in the fall when you move in. I know that another question that came up about your ID with orientation and uploading your own photo. You can do that, and thanks to Natalie, she put the information in there about how to do that with the ID office. One last question, and then we will kind of finish it up. Is talking about transfer students and coming from a community college and those requirements to live on campus. If you can talk real briefly about that, Emma.
Yeah, so for our transfer students, they do still have that same first year residency requirement as our students who are just graduating high school and coming to college for the first time. We find that it's just really beneficial for our students to live on campus their first year, kind of get the feel for everything. But we do understand transfer students, you might have already lived on campus for a few semesters, or you feel like you've got good footing and you don't necessarily need to live on campus. And there are a couple ways that you can be exempt from that rule if that's what you choose to do. If you have 30 or more credit hours post high school, you can apply for an exemption. Now, a lot of students will assume, hey, I sent in my transcripts when I applied to the university. You guys know that I have 40 hours, but unfortunately that information is not shared with student housing. So you would need to apply for an exemption on our website. It's under off-campus eligibility, and you can apply, upload your transcripts. We just verify that you have those hours, and then we would take away that residency requirement off your plate. Now, if you do choose to live with us, which we hope you do, we have a learning community in Gordon for our transfer students. It's really awesome because we know not everybody's going to be 18, 19 years old. So you're around students who are maybe closer to your age. They've already got some college under their belt. So that's a really awesome option for our transfer students as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. And, as we do, we're going to kind of wrap up. But again, if you have questions about housing, Emma and her team, Natalie, Annie, and the rest of the University Student Housing team are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tomorrow is a university holiday, so they won't be open tomorrow. But again, you can see the phone number there. Feel free to give them a call, 806-742-2661. You can also email them, housing@ttu.edu, but a wealth of information on their website, www.housing.ttu.edu. And so again, thank you to Emma, Natalie, and Annie for helping out tonight. Again, this will be recorded. It will be on our website, but we do have some more webinars coming up for you. So I really want to encourage you to check those out. Keep an eye out for them. And those are going to be a few different topics. One of those includes, if you want to go ahead and hit that for me, Emma, there we go. Financial aid. How to review and accept your offer. I know with FAFSA being the state of it was this year, for everybody, we want to make sure that your financial aid questions are answered. We also have student business services and how to understand your bill and what to expect for them. Also student engagement and success and how you can be successful as a student, and what resources are available to you here. And another one on fraternity and sorority life. I know the question came up about rush and recruitment and what that looks like. We are going to answer all your questions for those in those webinars. Again, this will be housed on our website. And so be sure to check that out. And again, if you have any questions as you start your career here, if you've already come to orientation, if you haven't come yet, feel free to reach out. Orientation@ttu.edu. You can also call us 806-742-2993 and our website, www.orientation.ttu.edu. You can always follow us on social media @TTU Orientation. Again, thank you all for coming to today's session. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to continue to answer questions via the Q&A function, and then we will close this down shortly. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.